Ladies and gentlemen, I've been so humble and honored to become this month for your host. Really, if I know with how pleasure and honorable way it is, I will do for a long time, and I will do it over and over again and again. And I'll be so humble and become the host of Ramin Mascarlo. Really, this is not going to happen anywhere else except to Oblance, where our brother Ramin, who he's always like, he's pretending he's a one of us, like he's just still like, he's so humble. Although we're still working on the groundwork, we're still far from where what he achieved, but he is there for us all the time. He's holding our hands, he's running with us, he's walking with us wherever we could. So really, I'm so humbled to be his host for this month. And tonight, Ramin Mascarlo is the founder. If you don't know, or if you're the guest tonight, if you want to say it again and again, I will tell you again and again, Ramin Mascarlo is the founder and brain behind the Oblance Global. And he is a visionary, actually, to build Oblance Global. And Ramin, he did a lot of business. He built 5 multi-million businesses. But he actually took all the experience from that and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to do the one we own and is suitable for all the people who's going to be building the business with me. And that's why you see many different ways. Ramin, really, I about to have a series for that. Many different ways Ramin are doing different ways that he can help the people who need his help. He doing the packages every 3 months, every 6 months. He says, this is suitable. Is this a good way for them? Is this how can they join more? Can they do it more activity with this package, with that package? So you're not gonna find somebody like him around the world. Really, I'm be humbled to say that. And Senas and him together is a bonus for us, to be honest. And rest of the team that they actually build it, because when you are I was listening tonight, what is his name actually? One of these top, I'm not good with the names, but is the one who actually interviewed for Ramin one time in his place. So he was talking about, if you want to achieve something different, you have to bring the team with you. So when you choose a successful team that you convince them what's in for them, the business will become a successful. So all of us, what's in for this business is growth, economic wise, personal growth, everything together. Tonight I'm actually taking for, it's my last night, so I have to say whatever I have to say, or either I have to be quiet forever. so Ramin Mascarlo, actually, he voted twice. 2014 he voted and 2000 he voted number 1 2014, and no number 2 2014, and number 1 2020 as the top 10 multi-level marketing influencers and trainee. That is actually, he's supposed to win every year, to be honest. He created dozens of millionaires, and guess what? We're going to be one of them. All of us, if we work hard, we can be. He actually got voted also the youngest entrepreneur. Let me read it the way it is. Ernest, I can't say that word, but I'm thinking it is who earning the most, and is the youngest entrepreneur for 2017. What else I can add? Ramin, I love to be. He is my leader. He is our manager. He is our COO, everything he is for us. We are really proud to be part of his leadership. And he also, what Ramin, he's the best about it, is the compensation plan. Compensation plan, there is no one better than in this earth, in living in this world. And also Ramin Mascarlo is the writer for the Forensic Network, and he's a teacher for the university every Tuesday for us, for a Forensic Network. Ramin, please welcome to the floor. Thank you very much. And thank you for the guests and partners and sisters and brothers around the world. Welcome, Ramin.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is wonderful. It's awesome. It's always good to be here. All right. So let's talk business. If you guys know me, some of you guys have been with me for 18 years. Some of you guys have been with me maybe a couple of weeks. One thing about me, you're going to find, if you don't know already, you'll find that I am a researcher. You know, if you look at everything I do, if I have cars, I make sure I have one for all purposes, including one that's off-roader, just in case you need to be off-roading for whatever the reason. If I launch a business, every aspect of the business will have multiple tiers of protection. And some of you guys have heard some of the horror stories that we've been in our 18 years. And that's why I love conventions and conferences, because that's where stories you would never hear at these calls or on regular sessions. It happens usually after the conference is over, convention is over, after the gala, after the dancing, some streets, the people gather, party all night. If you catch the CEO, catch the top earner, they're gonna share with you in a very social setting, you know, stories you would never get to hear in throughout your lifetime in a typical business setting. And some of you guys have spent those times with me where I told you some of the horror stories that could have taken us out, you know, 2009, 2007, 2014. At the end of the day, it just made us stronger, and we kept on going. And the reason why, like the last thing that could have taken us out, but it didn't, it worked the opposite because we were prepared, was the pandemic. A lot of companies got taken out. Lots of companies got taken out. And we're ready. We had the infrastructure. We replanned everything, and boom, best year 2020. And last 2 years, things have been tough for the world. And with us, we're trooping right through it. And next year, that's going to be the worst year ever. They're talking Armageddon. We're prepared, and every single day I come in, I'm thinking, next year is going to be the worst ever. And it says starting on December, we're going to see everything crash. And there's going to be crisis of cars, we're going to talk about some of that stuff. But for me, I research everything, and because I believe only the prepared survives. And some thrive, because every time, Einstein said, in the midst of adversity lies an opportunity. In the midst of adversity lies an opportunity. And of course, it's the people who are prepared and looking forward are the ones. I believe, one of the things that will happen over the next 5 to 10 years, MLM will cleanse itself the way other forms of businesses are doing and have done, .coms and all kinds of different things. Companies that industries have cleansed itself. Right now we take a look at a lot of traditional businesses are going off business, right? So, but then there are some who are prepared, and they're filling the gap by expanding. Of course, during the last 3 years, we're expanding, right? In 2019, it was Philippines, and before that, it was Singapore, and 2021, it was Malaysia, and now we have 2022. We have Thailand. We had our first official pre-launch meeting in Laos, country of Laos. And so we're expanding. And we're there when the opportunities come. We're there, and we're picking them up and saving people. And because a lot of these companies that go business, of course, people are devastated. Their people are devastated. And so we're there to open our arms and, hey, join us, right? But the reason why we are prepared is because I'm paranoid. Because I'm paranoid, and one of the first things I learned in my business career early on, and it was a CEO, the original CEO of LinkedIn. I was on a plane traveling, and when I'm on a plane, I'm not watching movies. I'm looking for documentaries, right? I'm just need this stuff. I just need this stuff. You guys get it in an hour on Tuesday here. I'm getting this 10, 12 hours a day in different fields. I just need this stuff. So, And I remember years ago, I was on a plane and I got watching a documentary, LinkedIn CEO, and he said a line I never forgot. I never forgot. I just launched my company. It was fairly new, still trying to figure it out. And this is 10, 15 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. And he said, only the paranoid survives. Only the paranoid survives. He was talking about big business. So that's me. That's me. Yeah. Every part of our business, we have backup to the backup to the backup to the backup, and somehow we managed to keep them all in the game. So, they're active, they're doing something from the merchant systems to internet systems to, bank accounts to, we pretty much, the fund transfer that we got for you guys, we got the card and we got all the banking instruments, we got iPayout. Like we have, systems over systems over systems. It's not easy to monitor all of that and manage all of that. It's a lot of work, but we're doing it. It's worth it. It's worth it. So there was a time where in order for you to survive in the business environment is that you had to make sure you do everything right yourself. You manage internal affairs well, be a good money manager, right? Worry about the internal infrastructure and make sure the right pieces are in place and make sure you got the right systems, the right customer care, all of that stuff, right? The product development and all this. So that by itself is a monumental task. And a lot of companies don't make it. We know the stats are at 80% of the businesses fail in the first 5 years. So we do all that stuff right. Here we're 18 years later, but we've done so much beyond that, that when we had something like a pandemic fall out of nowhere, that we didn't glitch at all. If anything, right, we just took off and we start taking over other companies and we start expanding. And, when the business cycle goes down, like we don't worry about paying our bills, we're investing heavily into infrastructure. So 18 years of good planning, we've done a good job. I'm getting somewhere with all this. It's not about, tonight's not about bragging about what we do. I'm getting somewhere with this. So my job is every day finding potential harms and be prepared for that. It sounds like the Pentagon, the radars are going, looking for potential, flying objects that could be asteroid, a UFO, or a missile from an enemy. So they're always out there scouring and identifying things. That's me. I'm constantly looking into what's going on, different sources of media, a lot of research, and most importantly, finding out where the economy is going, looking for where we can have an advantage, what we can provide for you. We have 6 branches of business in one for you, because again, we're constantly looking at what is going to be the next phase coming. So it's hard enough to do everything right internally. It just got 5 times harder with what's going on now with the World Economic Forum and Canada, looking at what the government's doing. And so I'm going to give you some facts. And of course, unfortunately, a lot of people never bother to look at this stuff. And then why the 1% control 96% of the money, because they never react to now. They're always looking ahead. They always know what's coming. The 1% who control 96% of the money, they know what's coming. And once you start to awaken, know what's coming, and all of a sudden you see everything that's around you. So it was there, you never paid attention to it. It was there, but you never paid attention to it. So here's a fact about Canada. This is going to shock you. So I want you to go do some research on this. And I just found this out last week. Now, I've been talking about Canada suffering year by year ever since you've known me. We talk about even pre-pandemic, right? You know, because of inflation and this plan that's being played right now has been going on since 1974. It's not a new thing, but it's just accelerating now. But here's a stat that's going to shock you, and that's going to take you to my training tonight. And in 2019, when these stats are out there, I didn't even know this. In 2019, like I always knew Canada has the highest disposable income. I've talked about this for 20 years. That's not a new thing. So Canadians have more disposable income than any other country. So this is why you highly tax, because I figure you can afford it. But I didn't know this part. In 2019, 70%, 70% of Canadians considered themselves middle class. And that's amongst the highest in the world, if not the highest. 70% of Canadians in 2019, that's just 3 years ago, considered themselves middle class. Here's a more impressive side of it. Canadian middle class were the richest in the world. The richest in the world. The middle class, not the upper class, the middle class, right? So compared to the US, for example, in 2019, Canadian middle class, they had about $109,000 in assets. We're not talking debts and all this stuff, homes, is in assets, right? General assets, right? Compared to the US middle class, in 2019, this pre-pandemic, they had 61,000 in assets. So Canadians, 109,000, US, 61,000, I think it was. Double, twice as rich. This is the middle class, twice as rich as Americans. Of course, I mean, so Canadians were the richest in the world. So, sounds good. Fast forward 3 years. The report came out again. Canadians, in just 3 years, 2019 was with the richest, 70%. The report this year, 2022, that number of the Canadians who think they're middle class is down to 49%. Down by 21%. That's like 1/3 of Canadians who just 3 years ago, who thought they were middle class and they were the richest in the world in the middle class, in just 3 years, we're down to 49%. It's about to get a lot worse. By the way, in the US, you know, at 61,000 rich, they're down to, they're in the negative. They're in the negative now. They're in the negative. They're not above. And Canadians are zero. So how could this happen? How could this happen? Then I start to research, right? Then I start to research. So of course we know about the World Economic Forum and their Agenda 2030, they call it. If you haven't heard to them by now, you're not paying attention. It's called the Great Reset. Our Prime Minister, in the middle of pandemic, he was doing a Zoom call, and this was shown on Fox News. So I saw the clip on it. We don't know who he's talking to. So our Prime Minister said, "Oh, the COVID mandates provides us with an opportunity for the Great Reset." Now, I've heard that word, the Great Reset, for a long time, those words, but I guess, you know, because now I know it's been in place since 1974. It's not a new thing, but now it's starting to really get going. So there's an agenda called 2030 Agenda, right? So World Economic Forum, you can just go YouTube and YouTube will allow. What is really tagline of that is, you will own nothing, you will owe nothing, and you'll be happy. You will own nothing, you'll be happy. Okay, so, sorry guys, I got no noise coming here. All right, so I don't want to get into politics of it. It's not my business there. What I'm thinking about, okay, how does that affect opulence? How does that affect our people? So let's not look at the details. What does that really mean? To when, I mean, 2030, that's in our lifetime. That's just 7 years from now. Their 2030 agenda is done by 2030. So we know now, we hear it now every day, Canada is in the forefront of this digital ID. I brought my son to Atlantic City last week. He wanted to go somewhere. He was younger brother. He wanted to go. So we went. On the way back, 2 o'clock in the morning, the border guard asked us for Arrive Can app. He's 13 years old. He doesn't have an Arrive Can. So anyways, 2 o'clock in the morning, they want me to go pull over, and I either download it on his phone, which I would not do, or I need to put him on my app. So anyways, I had to pull over and I put him on. I had to go inside. I said to the border guard, I said, when is this junk going to stop? He says, never. If anything, they're giving us training. They're expanding it. This is going to be a digital ID. This is the border guard that tells me that. Now, of course, this is not in the news yet. Well, if you're researching, but the guards know that, and he just happened to say it. So essentially, everything is going to a point where with one button, they can shut you off. Another thing is the middle class has to disappear. The middle class, because they cannot get rid of the rich. The rich are the rich. They got many ways of dealing with this, and they're usually global. They're usually well versatile. There are different things going on. So, and it's a very small amount anyways there. The middle class, that's the biggest part, and then there's the poor side. So they need to get rid of the middle class, and essentially what's going to happen, they want to turn this into some third world countries where few up here, and it's pretty much eliminate the middle. So it's like you're either here, you're here, and of course here's a lot much more. So it starts to make sense why there was lockdowns and the businesses, and they don't really care, the government, all this stuff. So I'm looking at all this stuff. I'm saying, okay, well, the system is going, the digital ID is in place. It's coming out. So MLM used to be, because I wrote in my book years ago, MLM is the last bastion of the free enterprise. That's why I used to say it still is. It's the last chance for the average person to be able to do something extraordinary. I mean, last week, actually on Saturday, I did we did the training call. It was fun. It was like a round table format. It was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. And we had one of our original partners from Ottawa, Mona, came on, and she was all emotional. She says, hey, I've been here since day one, and guess what? Get this, ready for this? She has $35 million in CV accumulated in CV. $35 million accumulated CVs NASDAQ. That's a lottery. That's a lottery. So of course, in our business, we have multiple business sectors. So she actually has 70 million, 35, $70 million. That's a hell of a story. She's been here, 16 years, 17 years? I don't know how many jobs last 17 years that you could rely on, even a job. I mean, there's some, they're getting less and less, right? It's not like the old days when somebody goes work, get a job, spend their 30, 40 years, retire there. Those things don't happen anymore. So here, I don't know how many businesses last 17 years. Not that many. Not that many. And I don't know how many businesses you can start. At the time, it was about 5,000 Canadian to get started. It was 3,600 US for LA. No, say 5,000 Canadian at the time. I don't know how many businesses you can start with $5,000 and build it to 70 million from home. And this is a real story in our business. So Moni was on Saturday and sharing that with everybody. That is absolutely craziness, right? It's just craziness. So I'm looking at this thing as, okay, the Great Reset is coming. It's called 2030 Agenda. You will own nothing. You will own nothing. And you'll be happy. Essentially, what it means that they're going to eliminate all the small businesses, independent businesses, and the top 1,000 corporations in the world, like Amazons of the world and eBays or whatever. They will sell everything we need. So you're either working for them or you're not working at all. So they got this thing called guaranteed income. I won't get into it. So the whole idea is that we're all going to live on some type of welfare system, where socialist system, where they don't want independent businesses. Now it makes sense why the supply chains, all this war stuff, it just starting to all come together, why we need inflation to go higher. Here's another example I found out this week. I sent this to a bunch of my friends who have car dealerships, and one of my friends wants to start one. So I send this to him. You don't know this unless you're researching. The agency that's responsible for all the car repossessions in the US, this is going to shock you. They are repossessing 15,000 cars a day. These are people who cannot keep up the car payments. 15,000 cars a day they're repossessing right now in the US. Of course, these cars are not ending up on the streets. That's a different story altogether. They're putting them away. So we're going to have a real estate crisis. We keep hearing how Bill Gates keep buying more land and Bezos buying more land. And we know central banks will keep buying the houses that go for sale. So, you know, I don't know when this happened, but the central bank apparently now is the biggest lender, house lender in the world. I don't know how that works out, but so at the end of the day, it all comes down to the world is changing. The world is changing. So as a CEO of a company, I'm thinking, okay, how are we positioned to deal with that over the next 7 years? So I'm always thinking forever, right? So, and I start to look, I say, you know what? The MLM used to be the last bastion of free enterprise, which means average person can do something extraordinary, above average. You know, an ordinary person can do something extraordinary, right? It wrote that in my book 23 years ago, but today is the last bastion of getting freedom. Truly, it brings freedom. It used to be that MLM offered and brought an opportunity to make money, but today it's the only way, it's the last bastion, it's the last chance for the average person to have total freedom. Total freedom. Because I can tell you will not have that in a job. Your company you work for can get shut down. We saw that during the pandemic. They all got shut down, right? We got laid people off. So jobs are not secure. Businesses, having your own business, lots of them are now bankrupt. So they're not reopening or downsized. It's already happened. So job wasn't secure. Traditional business wasn't secure. The only one that did not get affected at all, or they couldn't affect it, you know what it is, right? Yeah, throw it in the chat group. Go ahead. This is your contribution to this conversation. You know, who was it that never got, right? So it was MLM, opulence business. We never shut down. So when I say that it is your last bastion of total freedom, it is. Jobs couldn't do it. Traditional businesses couldn't do it. And let's take it one step further. There's somebody said, yeah, about e-commerce too. I suppose, I can tell you though, it's really difficult to try to compete with some of these guys like Amazon and eBay and some of these people on the internet and social media are really good. They're really, really good. And you got a lot of money, right? An average person doesn't have a lot of shot against those guys. So even e-commerce, right? Even e-commerce, yeah, anyone can open an Amazon store, but how many of them actually make money, right? At the end of the day, it's difficult. It's difficult. So MLM is the only option because it's the business that brings everything. It brings a personal interaction, sell face-to-face, use your home to sell, go to trade show to sell on internet, hire other people to sell, go beyond borders. Like nobody else does. A company does all the technical work, all the research, all the training, all the manufacturing, all the drop ships. In Opulence, we've taken that to 5 levels above normal. So as I sit here every day, it's okay, I need to get my company ready for that next big shock. Because I do a lot of research. I know what's coming. We're not going to get into it on these calls. Everything is changing, right? Everything. Part of the digital ID that you're going to have, they're going to measure everything. This is going to shock you. They're going to measure how much, what is your C2 footprint for the environment. So you like your SUV because you like SUVs, but guess what? Your score is going to be kind of low because that's not really good for the environment. So if you like traveling a lot, well, you put too much miles on your passport, so that's not good for the environment. So all of a sudden, I mean, this is where it's going. That's how crazy. That's how crazy. Now, if you don't believe that, I don't know how. You just went through, even today, millions of Canadians cannot travel because they're not vaccinated, even today. So I don't know how you don't believe that, where you got shut down and your mother and your children couldn't visit you. And I'm hearing so many people lost their parents in hospital during pandemic alone. They were not allowed to go see their parents dying. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we've seen it all. If you're paying attention, then you say, okay, you know what? Things are never going to get better. That's the trend. We start doing some research. Okay, I get it now. I see how it's all connected. So then it comes down to me. So how do I protect Opulence from all of that? How do we do that? Well, let's talk about the good news. I've given you a lot of the bad stuff, but you're going to hear it though. You've got to hear it because I know a lot of you don't pay attention to this stuff. And this is why I'm here at this time, 9:30 at night. I got a mansion. I got $1 million supercar. I have a son. That's my pulse. But I'm here because, that's where we have to 18 years because I'm the radar in the sky. Okay, what could be the next thing we need to evade to protect ourselves? So we got this WEF plan, they call it Agenda 2030 coming. Digital system is coming where money will disappear. Everything is going to be on a digital ID. If you're a bad boy or bad girl, according to them, guess what? You get limited in many different ways, even for travel. So you won't have access to your money. We already know that happened. People, you donated to a demonstration, the bank accounts got closed and they got frozen, assets got frozen. It's just stuff already happened. It's not like it hasn't happened already, right? So how do we deal with this stuff? So very first thing is, I love about MLM. It brings everything that you wish your job had. Like, I mean, a lot of people have jobs, right? A lot of people have jobs, but MLM brings everything you wished your job had, right? We're going to talk about some of those things. So MLM, your MLM business, your Opulence business is the dream job you were always looking for. Always. So, one, let's talk about that. It's time flexible. It's time, which is great. Why? It's business beyond borders, different time zones. You want to be time flexible, right? You want to, when something is time flexible, it also gives you more freedom, doesn't it? You got to stay disciplined to make sure you get it done, but it gives you more. So maybe you want to go to the gym in the morning. You can do that. Your job doesn't allow you to do that. Maybe you want to pray at noon. Maybe you want to, so whatever. maybe, there's something your kid wants to do. Maybe it's a basketball game at 3 o'clock. Whatever it is, when something is time flexible, if your job allowed you to go in anytime you want, that'd be a better job, wouldn't it? Right? If the job said, hey, look, here's the, as long as you put in 8 hours, you come in when you want. That would be a better job. That would be a better job, right? Because it gives you some flexibility. It gives you flexibility. But see, jobs don't do that. So you gotta love this opulence job of yours. You gotta love this opulence job of yours. It allows you to do that. It's a business. It's a job. Let's call it a job. I love jobs. You know why? Because somehow you guys, you guys mean the working people, not just you guys on this call, meaning the working people. You respect that word job more than a business. It's unfortunate. I don't understand it. But a job, you'll go consistently for 45 years, never miss a day, or unless you're sick or whatever, never be late. But then when it comes to running your own business, you can't keep a schedule for 2 weeks. So people respect the word job, might as well use it. So your opulence job is time flexible. 2, fully under your control. Imagine if you had a job that you were the boss. Everybody there worked below you. So you were the CEO of that company in a job, right? So all of a sudden you can full control. Now, in a traditional business, if you have a job as a CEO like me, you work around the clock. You're the hardest working individual. But at least imagine you have that choice. Completely under your control. When you want to work, with whom you want to work, which direction you want to go. Today, we spend all day strategizing a whole bunch of cool things. Being able to redirect things that, again, everything you wish your job allowed you to do, but it doesn't. So opulence business is the absolute dream job. How about this? This is important. And we found a home point this is during the pandemic. And with the digital ID coming, you're going to find out how really it's important, where your business, your opulence business is mobile. Get on the plane. That's all you need. It's right there. That's it. Get up. Don't like a country? You have a wacko prime minister like we do? Change your country. You can leave. Get up and go. You don't like your province? Go to the next province. Pick up and go. You want to get on the roads for 365 days, driving the world, and here, take another train and go. It's a mobile business. I have a friend of mine. He has a e-commerce business, something different. And he didn't like to be here in Toronto during the pandemic. So he has a house in Mexico. He's been there for 2.5 years, and he doesn't want to come back anymore. He says, no, I can do my business from here. And I know a lot of people who are in the stock market, they live now in some island, they're just living it up. Because I follow some of these guys and, just pick up some information about equity markets and stuff. And there's an ocean behind them. And so imagine you had business, you had a job that was mobile like that. I think I'm going to work my job next year in Waikiki, Honolulu, Hawaii. See, opulence business is the absolute dream job you always wanted. It gives you everything that your job doesn't give you. Let that sink in for a bit. So it's time flexible, it's under your control, it's mobile. Take it anywhere you go. How about this? It's tax friendly. With what's going on now, they keep raising taxes on everything. They go blow all the money and now we got to pay for it back. They keep raising taxes on everything. Have you heard about that wealth tax that's coming out now? I laugh when they say inflation is 7%. Really? I just did a video. I haven't released it yet, so I'm going to release it soon. By the way, things are really bad. You just don't know it. Twice this month, twice, I went to get the 94 gas, right? Most new high performance cars, they need the 94 gas, so 93, 94, right? And they were out. They didn't have any. They didn't have any. In my 45 years in this country, I've never seen that. Now we hear the crisis Europe is having. They don't even know how to heat the homes this winter. The crisis that we hear because of Russia pulled back or whatever. But we have that here. You just don't know it. And I think by December, we're all going to get shocked in this country. Energy crisis, real estate crisis, car crisis in this country here in Canada. So we're going to hear it December in that time. We're going to hear it. So they say inflation is 7%. Really? So you go to the grocery store, right? Your bill is doubled. But here's one example. I know this very closely because my property, it's on a coast. It's heaven. It's heaven. People say, where do you live? I say heaven. It's got 200 feet drop, 6-foot waves. So one side, I got the blue. The other side, I have apple orchards, hundreds of acres of apple orchards. So we just can walk across the street and pick up. And if you're in Canada, you know who he is. You know, Alan's Apple Juice. Well, lives there, right? Every grocery store has it. And his apples are being sold in every grocery store in Canada. So his bag of apple, which I get for free, which is great. But his bag of apple used to sell for $3 in the grocery store. Just, I don't know, 6 months ago, a year ago. I don't know. I don't know. I know that people who used to buy, they told me they used to pay $3 a bag maybe a year ago. And today it's at $7.99. I don't know. If my arithmetic is right, that's not a 7% inflation. That's like 130% inflation. You know about your bacon and meats and all this stuff, you know. So it's absolutely nuts. Absolutely. So the taxes are fulfilling all this, right? It's just everyone's, you know, costs have gone up. It gets passed on. So if you're working as well, there's all kinds of deductions. By the way, part of the reason why Canadian middle class have dropped so rapidly is many things that used to be tax deductible. They actually mentioned this. I know when our wacko prime minister came, he said, we're going to raise the taxes on the rich and the middle class will win. It's opposite. It's the opposite. It's just the opposite. So, and how the middle class got crushed here in Canada, 70% to 49% in 2 years, right? Is because one of the reasons is a lot of things that used to be deductible, tax deductible and subsidies stopped for the middle class, stopped for the middle class. So it, you know, it was the whole idea was to crush the middle class, and it's happening all over the world. It's not just here, all over the world. So it's nice to be in a job that's tax friendly. Ah, what a job. Tax friendly. See, when you are in the opulence job, we pay you on Tuesday without deductions. No deductions. And then you can use a whole extent of a good accountant behind you and minimize that to zero. You could literally pay zero tax. You know, there's some great ways of being able to maintain much, if not all of your retained incomes. I mean, just talk to a good accountant. You know, if you pay some tax, it's, you know, it's a lot lower than what a job would be. What a great job. What a fantastic job. Tax friendly. How about this? Scalable. You can't scale a job, right? The only way to scale a job is that you get a promotion. I mean, these days you're lucky to get a job, let alone have a job, let alone a promotion. So, you know, so forget about job, it's out. But even in a traditional business, how do you scale a traditional business? You need a ton of money, right? To expand the building or a second location. It's hard. It's really, really hard. What percentage of the businesses can scale? Well, your opulence job is not so hard to scale. I was talking to a lady today, said, hey, I launched 2 shops in an island. She just scaled her business by 2 emails in another country. You can go scale your opulence business job tomorrow. You can do it right now. After this call, call somebody, get them in the system. You just scaled your business. The only way to create wealth is to have a business that's scalable. If you can't scale it, can't get any bigger, right? So, but it's not so hard here, isn't it? You can get a VIP who plays a family pack or buy a couple of toothpaste, get a sterling, buy shampoo, whatever. You just scaled your business. You added a new VIP to your business. You can launch a shop, email, partner, have them launch 2 of their cousins. Oh, scaling. They launch 2 of the neighbors. Oh, scaling again. And next thing you know, your opulence business is scaling on its own. On its own. I mean, how many of you guys, every single one of you here, every single one of you, without exception, unless it's your first hour in the business, you have people in your teams, in your organization that you did not sponsor. That means what? First of all, it means your business scaled by scaling, which is more than you. And best part, it's scaled on its own. On its own. Someone else built it, not you. What a job! You like that job? Put in the chat, I love my opulence job. Because honestly, this is the dream job you've always been dreaming for. This is the dream job you've always been dreaming for. Here's a good one. Yeah, I see there's a few people awake on the chat. Good to see you guys wake up. I love my opulence job. Let me see that. I love my opulence job. That's right. My opulence job rocks. Let's do that. You got to be loud. When you're loud, you get people's attention. Learn to get loud. Remember, place yourself on fire, enthusiasm. Feel that second part. You guys have been called forensic long enough. Place yourself on fire with enthusiasm. What's the second part? Let me see it. You guys know. First part, place yourself on fire with enthusiasm. What's the second part? You know, people will come. Oh, you're close. People will come and see you. You're close. You're close. Kathy Ann almost had it. People will come and watch you burn. Yeah. Okay. You guys, I'll give it to you. You're gonna give it. People will come for miles to watch you burn. There you go. Joy got it. Joy got it. Love it. Good stuff. Caroline got it. Wonderful. Wonderful. Get loud. Get excited. So the next one is interesting because I actually never thought about this one till the pandemic hit. Everything else, we had it before. Not this one. This is a new one we just added. This is a new one we just saw, which we never thought was relevant before. We never even thought about this use case of this opulence job till we saw what happened in the pandemic and what's going on with the Agenda 230. And that is, this job is unconfiscatable. They can't confiscate from you. No one can. This job is unconfiscatable. If you're a Canadian, you can leave the country. You go, nobody knows you have it. If you're outside Canada, you don't even live here anyways, who cares? So, right? That's one business that your government cannot come and put their hands on it. We pay you on different platforms. You do have a card that works everywhere. You know what that's called? What's that called? Total freedom. There we go. Kathy-Ann, you got this, girl. Good job. You guys are on it. Total freedom. I love it. Freedom. That's it. It's called freedom, where you have complete control. I can tell you, as a traditional business, you're always worried about, oh, the banks are going to act funny. They're going to come and block your bank account. You know, TD Bank in Canada, they closed 2,000 businesses' bank accounts last year. 2,000 businesses with no explanation. By the way, they're all doing it. All the banks are doing it. And reason is because if you do business outside Canada, because all this money laundering BS that's going on, that it's not real, but the laws, the banks are being hit hard, and they just don't want any business that does business internationally. So it's nice for you guys to know you have a business you can build. It doesn't matter what mandate, no agenda 2030, no matter what, right? That you have. Now, there is one danger. This digital currency that they're coming out with. Apparently Canada is on the forefront of that. Number one, actually, how fast you're going to get the digital. And that is dangerous because obviously then you get paid not in dollars, you're getting paid in this digital dollar that it could be stopped. So right now the money, once you get this in your pocket, no one can stop it, right? You use it. When it goes digital, it's like a credit card thing. It could be stopped anytime by anyone, right? And in which case, we're doing some cool stuff through a Web3 platform exit. So, so we're working on some stuff there. Because again, I'm thinking always, what if they come with some type of crazy mandate that, people don't want? But then if it's a digital dollar, how do we get away from that? So if we have our own cryptocurrency that can be converted to other cryptocurrencies and could be converted into fiat. So we're working now in that part of it as well, because in the future, everything is going to be crypto anyways. And so we're already there. Can you see how we're ahead, like 7-8 years always? And when you guys get to appreciate how important this is, it's going to be when you start to realize the banking restrictions are becoming horrendous. Some of you guys already feel that because some of these islands that we're in, even in Nigeria, some of these countries, India, right? Some of these countries, there is a lot of restrictions using your own credit card, using your own money. There's lots of restrictions, right? So, it's already happening, but it's going to get worse and worse. So between our internal currency system that we have up in this currency exits, the shopping credit system, you guys don't feel this stuff because it's just so detached already, which is amazing from the existing systems. But yeah, it's going to get pretty tough. So now one of the biggest use cases we can say, we already saw people's bank accounts get frozen, right? We already see what's happening now in China. I think what they say, like something like 120,000 people's digital passes got canceled because they have some crisis over there. They didn't want people to travel. These people couldn't even buy a train ticket. They couldn't get on the train. It's happening right now in China. So, and this whole model is based on China model anyway, so that this is how the government could really control its people, right? When it goes digital. So if you could lose your bank account in a job who pays you, then you can't pay a mortgage. We saw that happen to the people who were donating to the demonstration. They couldn't pay the mortgages. You don't hear them in the news, but if you're in the right channel, there's some horror stories. People could not pay their tuitions, their mortgages, the bills. Some people couldn't have food because the bank accounts were frozen because they donated money. This is crazy stuff. So, I think not being able to be confiscated is probably one of the most important use cases of this opulence job, because confiscation of your bank account is very much possible in the banking system. Confiscation in your business is 100% possible. It happens all the time. For doing absolutely nothing, companies are being shut down now. because the banks figure that it's too risky to work with businesses. And so they just want to sell mortgages and credit cards and those things. And so they're really scaling down from the business side of things. And so you don't have to be like a traditional businesses where, am I going to have a banking system tomorrow? Am I going to have whatever? You have a business that's in your country. Your government can't come to me and say, hey, this person in this country, in our country, can you just stop paying them? Or like, we don't respond to that. Like, so this is something that for you guys, especially for folks that outside the country, you guys have it big here. Because if this was local to you, right, there are some risks involved, but it's not local to you. It's a Canadian company, and we do not respond to other governments. So anyway, a lot of things you guys didn't think about, all the advantages. So you gotta love this job. Put it in the chat. I love this job. I love this job. We're gonna use the word job in the positive way, not in the negative, in a positive way. How about this one? It's a business. It's the goodness. It's all goodness you can share. It's shareable. Shareable. That's a good word. It's shareable, right? You can't share your job, right? You can't even share your business, but you can share this one. All the goodness we're talking about right now. By the way, everything we're talking about is a problem everybody has. You don't have those problems. Share it, right? Share it. Take my list and say, hey, let me tell you some problems you're having you never even thought of. Take them through it. You know what? They're going to agree to all of it, right? Because we've seen it. It's happening. There's I don't have any of these problems. I don't have any of these problems. So then that takes you to the information. It's shareable. How about this one? Transferable. That's nice. Transferable. I don't know if you guys have any experience, but when somebody passes away, the government gets involved, eh? There's all kinds of taxes you have to pay, fees. It's crazy stuff, and there's other people that may want to come and put their hand on it. It's I hope nobody experiences, but when you pass away, there's a lot of problems for the next generation to deal with, including the government, right? Here, we've had this already. I don't know if this is good or bad, but we've been in business long enough. We had some of our people actually passed away, and it was just quick, transferable, done. They get the commissions. There you go. There's no government taxes coming out of it. Nothing. You inherit it, or you pass on to the next generation. So I love this job. This is a great job, because when you die, you lose your job and your kids don't get your income. Right? They don't get your job or your income. Even if you have a traditional business, it's hard to run a traditional business. I know a lot of people, their kids want nothing to do with that business. Right? They will take the income, but it doesn't work like that. You got to run the business. So, but in this business, how about this one? This one with lifelong. Actually, that's not even accurate, lifelong. It's like, because it's lifelong for you, but it gets passed on to the next generation. So we should really don't call it lifelong. We should call it what it is. It's an infinity income, right? Because it gets passed on and passed on and passed on and passed on. When Renee, he's got another 100 years, but he goes, his kids will, would take the money. It's an infinity income. It's not a lifelong. We use the word lifelong in the old days because a lot of those companies don't allow transfer. It wasn't transferable. But really, this is transferable. Our opulence is transferable. It's a lifelong infinity. It's not lifelong. It's an infinity income. It just keeps on going and passed on and keep on going and passed on. So I love my job. So you got to know. How about this? Gratifying. Gratifying. You can make a lot of money doing different things, but it's not gratifying, right? But it's something nice about, making a lot of money and then changing people's lives and health and financial and, the gratification is there. I know people make a lot of money, but they hate their jobs. I know people make a lot of money, but they're tired and exhausted from the business. I know people make a lot of money, but they're stressed to death. You know that. The more money you make, the more stress you got. Not here. Not here. I can tell you, if anything, our leaders are underworked. They need to do more work. You know, most of them anyway. It's that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen here. We're running out of time. Okay, then one more. And I believe this is because of the Agenda 2030 with World Economic Forum. By the way, you guys should really Google, just go Google it, just go YouTube it. YouTube is a good place. Find out what WEF is up to. You're not gonna like it. Not gonna like it. So, and that's World Economic Forum, by the way. Bill Gates of the world, they got together, they put this thing together. It's been around a long time. But now they're just flourishing now. They, you know, the biggest corporations in the world got together and said, okay, how do we own the world? Well, let's kill the middle classes, kill the independent businesses, and then everybody, they're not going to like it. We put them on the digital ID, so they have to shut up. Otherwise, they're going to, we can control them through the ID, and they all have to buy from us or work for us or work as a welfare. Basically, it comes down to that. It's got stakeholder. They make it sound fancier, but that's what it is. So this brings me to my last point, which is MLM, your opulence job. I believe now it's the last bastion of self-employment. I know for a fact that that's not what the governments want. They don't want you to be self-employed anymore. They used to be. We should talk about that, how they give you tax breaks so you can be self-employed, but the agenda just changed, right? The agenda just changed because they want everybody to, it's called stakeholders, a video, 5 minutes, go watch it. So you're gonna find it's gonna become more and more difficult to start businesses, like get licenses, get permits, unless it's some trade thing that the world needs. But if you try to be self-employed, it's gonna be more and more difficult. And even if it was, it's not complete, right? It's hard. I can tell you that this job right here may very well be your last chance of self-employment and MLM. And I believe this vehicle of Opulence Global, I love the name Opulence. We're Opulence. I love Opulence. Just, what a name, Opulence. And we could have been something else, but no, we're Opulence. I love the name. And your job happens to be the opulence of the world and living your opulent life. So that's it. That's it. What I talked to you guys about. I know some areas gets intense and stuff, but hey, you got to work through that. You got to work through that. You know, whether you agree to it or not. I mean, it's there. The facts, don't study it. I'm a researcher. That's all I do. And somehow I feel like you're part of my community. This is one nation. And I need to tell you, just like the president of a country that talks to his people and feels like I feel like I need to talk to you about the stuff that I know. And I'm a coach anyways. You know, I'm constantly want to transfer all my data into you. You might not like some of the stuff I say, but don't worry about that. Try to get the gist of it and pick the good stuff that you like. And it's okay, how can I become a better opulencer tomorrow? So with that, I pass the call back to your fearless hostess. And let's see, if you guys want to share something, put your hand up. You're welcome to share.
Yes, please welcome everybody. If you like to share something, pick up your hand up. My Zoom running away. Okay. Participant. Oh, her hand is up. Oh, Raza's.
Yeah, convention. Let's do this. I know some of you guys don't comment. I look forward to it. By the way, guys, you all have to be there, right? Hey, there may be lockdown coming again. It's gonna be the biggest party of the year.
Raza, welcome to the.
And they're gonna do this gala thing, music, shows, and I'll be there. The best brains of our company will be there. Not only we going to fill you up with good stuff to take you through 3 more pandemics, but you get to bond and meet with us, take pictures, you know, just build your infrastructure. It's going to be the biggest party of the year. So make sure you guys have bought your tickets, buy a few of them. and then get some of your new partners, put some promotions. Hey, do this, I get you a free ticket, right? You have the ticket already. Hey, go to LD1 or go to LA or, go to LD2 or whatever, MGS qualification, and boy, you get a free ticket. Get your people to the conference if there's still tickets left. I think there's still some left, but make sure. And also online, we have some online tickets as well. It's not available in Canada, I don't think. So if you're in Canada, you need to be there, or maybe not in Ontario. But if you're within 5-6 hour drive, 7-8 hour drive, maybe 2-3 hour flight, get your ticket, be live. It's going to be awesome. Experience of a lifetime.
Hello, Ramin. Can you hear me?
Hi, Rez,
Yes.
how are you? LD4.
Oh, I'm awesome. We just finished our Ottawa tour. Not just, we finished it right before the call started. Great call. What I was hearing is 35 years of hands-down experience and being in tune with what's happening within, our world. And I tell you, it couldn't have been said any better. Just thinking about what's available to us, how we can actually take control and charge of our own future and life is priceless. Interesting thing is, for those of you who know my son, he turned 15 lately. He's an entrepreneur, and I tell you, he's good at making money. He's good at making money. And I said to him, why you always like you're talented? I said, you're good. Whatever you want to do, you make money. I said, you want to be rich? He goes, yeah, I want to be rich. I said, well, the position that you were launched for and maintained up until now? He says, yeah. I said, you know how much volume is in there? He kind of guessed. I said, you know what that means? He goes, what? I says, whenever you're ready to start following the very same process is the day you're going to be semi-retired. He kind of looked confused. He said, what do you mean semi-retired? I says, right now, if you were to do and some X, Y, and Z, and I'm there to help and assist you, you can start earning. And you can start, his eyes became 3 times as big. He goes, will you help me? I said, of course I'll help you. It's more than just retail, because he does a retail thing, but his eyes, the way he opened up, because so I can be like you. I says, absolutely. I said, absolutely. And he started asking me questions. So I will be able to make money the more I do. I says, man, 2/3 of the work is done because of positioning you. Absolutely, you can. So you know what? It is the truth. It is exactly that. If you are ready, doesn't matter what point of your life or what point of your business you are in opulence, it is a rare reality. And it is up to me. And I tell you, I couldn't be more grateful for this opportunity, for this company, for this product line and this industry that it was allowing me to do, to have the freedom that I got. And you know what? Ramin mentioned about the upcoming event, which we haven't had one since 2018. I know a lot of people are thinking about, well, can I afford? Yeah, can I be there? Well, let me tell you something. My answer is the same to everyone. You cannot afford not to be there. I'll tell you that right now. You cannot afford not to be there, because people always, I don't know, not always, but a lot of people actually discount the personal investment, personal development. And I tell you, there is no event can match, no amount of webinars will match what we will experience at this conference. I'm looking forward to it. I'm talking about it 24/7. I'm counting days. Early bird is about to end. I just want to make sure everybody understands this event. I know it's always been done. It's always been a huge success. And one thing we know, for those of you been around, next 90 days after the event, your business starts to go for the moon. That's what it does. It's every time we have a conference, our business, the next 90 days sets all kinds of records. So that's something, again, I want to share with everyone to make sure you not miss it. Make sure you get there. Make sure your team is there. And again, whatever it is going to cost you, that's a bargain, because you cannot afford to miss it. That's simple. So thank you very much for being awesome, Paul. Awesome.
One of the reasons they should come, look in the chat. We have Helen and Patrick from Singapore flying in for this. Singapore. You have an idea how far that is? We go there, right? So getting on a plane, what, 12, 13 hours. Come here, all expense, but they get it, right? They get it. We got people come from the US, from the Caribbean. And you know, imagine the bonding. You're there meeting these people. What if you want to build in Singapore? You built. I know Emergent's going to be there as well. Anyway, well, the reason is you have to be there. It's not just information you're going to get. I think the more important than information is the bonding, meeting the top people, sharing stories, is the stories you never forget.
Remember the times we used to go when we were earlier on in our career, and we hear about all the successful people, top trainers, the corporate, the CEO, the president, vice president. One of the very few times we used to actually be able to meet them, and it was like, wow, what a feeling when we left. And right throughout the opulence years, always been the same thing. We get to meet, rub shoulder, build the bond, have a blast, because it's always a blast. Nobody wants to sleep. And yeah, it's something that you gotta, just do what you can to be there. That's my advice.
Another thing too, it is tax deductible, first of all, right? Let's talk. We're in Canada, you can write this off. So it's amazing. By the way, I mean, it's nice to, if you have a job, it's nice to have a business that you're investing into. Talk to a good accountant about this. It's very good. Another thing too, if you have been accumulating your marketing allowance, right? Many of you got so much of that stuff. It's incredible. I've seen market allowance up to $10,000. It's craziness. But even if because every time you do a power cycle, talk to your offline or read your prosperity book, you're going to get marketing allowance. You can actually use that to get to this. You can use that. So there's so many ways, even if partial payment, whatever, that you pay all of that, the rest of it, just don't miss this. Could be another lockdown. You don't know how long it's going to be. They may have all kinds of restrictions. Remember, the whole idea is eliminate competition. Small business will disappear. It's already happening. Just look at the malls, how many empty spaces. So that's the direction. You don't want, you have an opportunity to fly out, capture this. It could be a lifetime of benefit, not just a month. It could be a lifetime of benefit. Don't miss it.
Hi, good evening, Ramin and Reza. It's Renee here.
Hey, Renee, how are you?
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. You know what? I just wanted to sort of echo some of the things that me and Reza shared last night on the Product Crossfire about, of course, convention. And, I recall over 20 years ago, I started to listen to a lot of interviews with the most successful people in direct sales, And the one thing I kept on hearing was, this person after convention, they were completely transformed. Their incomes, they added an extra digit to it. And I kept hearing this, over and over again. And, I finally realized that if I want to take my business to the next level, the easiest way, is do what others have done, which is go to convention, And so I just wanted to second, for me, I've never missed a convention since the moment I joined this business. I have never missed one. And every single time that you go, one thing that you can't forget is how unique is it to be able to say that you got a chance to take a photo with the CEO and founder of a 17-year-old, multi-million-dollar corporation, to be able to take photos with the senior vice president of product development, of all the scientists that are going to be there. I mean, what it's going to do for you and your belief is going to set you on fire to carry you on for many years in this business. And so, for me, I just want to second what Reza was saying. A convention has always not only empowered me, but empowered my whole entire team to reach new levels. And you want to make sure that you really get as many people, in your team at that event. Imagine, right? 2 solid days of just incredible knowledge, emotions, excitement, everything. What it's going to do for your check. And I can assure you, every time that Rez and I have walked away from convention, like you said, 90 days to 6 months later, we're seeing our checks going up, right? And so again, but with our newest product being there, clinical, you want to be the first person to understand everything that's coming out about that product, be taking notes, have your recorders. And as well, I also want to add, Ramin, that of course, I believe that today we're asked as if they would be releasing some gala-only tickets for people that want to bring their spouses who might not really be in the business, You know, so I know that Rani, who was in Singapore, she's now living in the USA. You know, she would love for her husband to be at the gala party because her husband can't be there during the daytime. So keep an eye out. We are, I believe, releasing some early bird tickets for the gala only portion. And that's a great ticket to buy for people. Perhaps you want to bring someone who you want to introduce to the business. It could be a spouse, a family member. That's coming out very soon as well, too. Again, thank you so much, Ramin and Reza, and back to you guys. Thank you.
Part of the reason, definitely one of the main reasons you need to read it is because of this. Clinical.
Whoa, we gotta get some of that. Share that. Sharing is caring, Ramin.
It's magic. I'm telling you, for me, if you're an athlete, you're gonna love this. Because for me, for some reason, it's like, for me, it's like Popeye eating spinach. It just pop, you know, when I go to the gym, I feel so much stronger. But there's some real magic in that product, and we're looking into the patents. You're gonna hear a lot about the patents of the Fighter Clinical at this conference. And actually, we're gonna have the founder of it there, and Jack is gonna take us through it. We're flying him in for this. Oh, it's gonna be such an amazing event. So don't miss it. Just be there. Just be there. Just be there.
I don't know if I can share this, Ramin, but someone that you know who's been sick for about 8 years and haven't had any solutions for her, that you somehow managed to give them some, and the result, like they are blown away. They are bugging me every single day. When is it going to be released? When, if they need it, they need it. It's a matter of life, you know, health and all that kind of stuff. And I already know firsthand what it's done for her. And yeah, this is going to be life-changing, folks. It's no joke. It's that powerful.
Fighter Clinical is going to have equally impactful for everybody that tries it. And it'll be different set. It'll be some overlap with different set of testimonials, because it's so directed towards certain things. It is going to be an absolute knockout. We're not supposed to say stuff like this. It's not a protocol, but I did a post the other day of what is my protection plan for my health. It was Fighter Clinical, FOL, and vitamin D. Honestly, no medical advice or nothing like that. For me, that's all you need with all the problems in the world today. That's it. I don't need anything else. So, and I've been using the Fighter Clinical now for 2 months, and I'm always the first one. I'm going one pill a day, 2-3 times, take it one time at a time. The product, first of all, it's so easy to go down. It's not something that before I've had some, you know, natural products in the past, upsets your stomach and those things. None of that. But I take it, I go to the gym, and I just don't understand what happens to me. It's not, there's no caffeine in it. It's not a caffeine. I just feel like I'm strong. Like it's, so because I'm not looking for its other benefits. I'm healthy. So I'm sure for somebody else will have other things. But for me, what I noticed right away is at the gym. You know, it's the energy, like, so yeah, it's one of those things that, again, part of this conference, probably going to be the highlight. There's other things, but it's going to be the highlight, definitely going to be the highlights of what we're going to focus on in this conference. By the way, we have Dr. Alnaz, the founder, scientist behind the Fountain of Life. He's got some new studies. He's got some new studies. And, you know, every time he gets on he comes to see us, he's got some secret studies that he shares with us, and he's going to be on Zoom. And he's got some studies. Like I'm anxious to see what they are. I didn't ask him, and but he was really excited about some of the new clinical tests they've done on FOL and some things, and he's going to share it. So there's a lot going on. Don't miss the conference. We have Maria on. Where's our fearless hostess?
Here, I'm
Okay, I think we're
You're
missing.
muted, Sarah. You're muted.
Oh, sorry for that. So Maria, you can speak if you like to, if you want to say a couple of things. I don't see anyone else who their hand is up. So
Okay, so I will say this: if Maria wants to speak, she can. The format we're going for forensic next is going to be also a round table. So here's how it's going to work. Unless I have something to share with like tonight, right? But we're going to put up a topic. We're going to have some of the people that we feel would have a good input on the topic. You know, I'll decide who those people would be. And we're going to have a round table discussion of multiple inputs on one topic, which is great. So you're going to get different perspective on on the same topic from different people, because that's where you really pick up things, because somebody says things differently or the experience was a little bit different and they say different, deliver differently. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Pretty much what we did on Saturday, we're gonna transfer that into the forensic call as well as into the protocol as we go.
So if anyone else, I don't know if Rah on tonight, but anyone else who want to say something, please pick it up, your hand up so I can promote you and open your speaker.
We're good to go. If no one's
Okay,
we'll be good to go.
so I'll just start the announcement. So okay, let's share this screen. Oh la la, yes. Let's close it. Yes. So yes, our conference is actually still in early bird. That means we still have opportunity to promote and to sell it more. And actually the leader is also to buy maybe right now the extra ticket is those you maybe think they're gonna lead the next. And there is someone that you actually believe, like there is a psychology saying there is it's actually 4 window, but it's a 3 window. So the window is one of it is you know yourself, and the other one is other people know who you are, and the third one is you know when the things get tougher. So I'm taking that 3 of it because our team, we know somebody who is actually has a diamond under the mud or whatever, like somebody who's actually doing, but if they come to the conference like this one, they become shining and they become a star. So buy those ones for the ticket and invite them really, like, because they gotta get motivated and then become different level to run their business. So it's our responsibility to actually buy, maybe that's how I feel, to buy the extra tickets, either for give a gift for it, or either those others who is still under your team to actually give them away for the others. So it's still everybody is responsible to buy their own ticket. But if you feel as a leader, there's someone else who can get benefit for that, and they become the next leader, just to do it for them. That's my input. Okay. So, okay, here is Dani and our sister Dani and Asia, and the next one it is actually it is not saying Singapore. Yes, Singapore. The August 30th is tomorrow, 7:30 to 9:30. Wow, so that is that one. Who else in here? Filipino, it is September 3rd, Saturday, and Friday, September 2nd, Friday, Manila, and September 3rd, Saturday, Dova. If I torture it, forgive me, guys. It's not Mogadishu. I can say Mogadishu easily, although it's hard. Okay. Saturday, none other than Ranel Liao, the youngest millionaire and the best teaching for the back office and also forensic, and he do a lot of support for us as a team. So please do not miss. I got many questions for the team saying, Sarah, where can I find it? This where it is. So this is where you can take notice and you learn from it. So please invite all the members in our team sideline upline, downline, don't leave it anybody behind. Our leader is Saturday leadership cocktail. I don't want to torture the names, but Ranong, Kankaya, and Aranya Kamalabon. Forgive me.
His name, no, it's okay. That's Noron. And actually, I look forward to hear him talk. He's a great leader. When I was in Thailand, he would be the one in front of the flip chart and doing all the circles, and everyone's singing around him. And he has a lot of experience in MLM. He's a pure network marketer, pure leader.
Amazing.
And it's going to be fun to listen to him. And I didn't know his English was that good, but I'm glad he's doing this. And it's going to be fun to see him in action because I've seen how he moves around the meeting room and seminar center. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Excellent. I know a lot of leaders actually. I'm glad we have our team is expanded, and there's a lot of LD2, LD3. I mean, both of them will be qualified very soon. Lifestyle Advisor 1, she will qualify soon, and he's already qualified for the cruise. So we can see him over there. I'm qualified too. Woohoo! Okay.
By the way, going back to the conference, like I said, we got all the best brains that are going to be there.
Please
best
go
brains
ahead.
are going to be there. We'll talk about Dr. Alnaz. We've talked about Jack, and David will be there as well. And we have a new speaker. I look forward to listening to, which is Alan. Again, just conversation. Very smart guy. Very, very smart. So I look forward to see his input on what we're doing. Especially, I think he's going to have a lot to say with regards to the fighter clinical. So anyways, there's a lot going on. Just buy your tickets.
Amazing. Wherever you describe, he's very smart. I can't wait to listen to him. When Ramin say he's a very smart and he's very talented, he is. So I'm going to go actually be there. And our sister Senat COO and our sister Senat Vice President and Dr. David O. They both of them will come back on Monday. And really, I want to say thank you very much, all of you. Tonight is going to be my last night for being a host. I'm going to miss you, all of you. And hopefully I'll come back another time and enjoy this microphone one more time. But it was an amazing experience. I grew with it. I have an inspiration saying to me, I may be buying my own Zoom. I will upgrade my Zoom, and at least as our forensic right now teaching us, I maybe do at least one day per week for sure. But I'm hoping to do the 3 days for my own presentation and product. So that is my commitment for learning the lesson I learned from here.
Well, if you why don't you take off your screen share so we can actually, I think it's a good practice for all of us. Thank you for what you've done, and thank you all the hosts. This is 3-4 times a week. You've been doing this for a month, and Zahra, and it's fantastic. I want to congratulate you, and you're right. This is not the end. This is the beginning.
Yes, absolutely.
Opulence is a lifelong business for you. There's tens of thousands of people who are going to need you to be hosting these during the week and helping people, achieve their opulent life. So I want to congratulate you and for your leadership. Well done. We saw where you started. You're so confident now, and don't let it slip away. Like you said, get on it tomorrow. Find somebody who would listen and do a Zoom.
I'm not slipping away. Actually, it threw me so much challenge. I actually tried to put a speaker on my computer, and it actually interrupted all my system for speaking for the speaker phone. And it was really, it threw me so much challenge, but I did not give it up. I said, I'm going to be there. I'm going to shine up.
People appreciate it, right? People appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know what? It's a forensic and our product call and our opulence calls, or it's a friendly arena.
Yes.
Man, and practice and get better, and then you helping others. So hey, I know a lot of people are inspired by you, and you know, we look forward to sharing them on next.
Excellent. Yes. Thank you, Ramin. Thank you. I really appreciate for your word. It's inspiring me and also inspiring the rest of the team. If I learned when I was doing with my children was young, they say, if Baruna can do it, you can do it too. So if Sarah did it, anyway.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, everybody. That's that right. We're gonna call upon you on other things. With that, stay forensic, everybody.
To the billion. Have a great night for all my members and everybody. Thank you.